Michael Savage.
Police shot and killed a 34-year-old mother.
Heroically, Carrie may have been suffering from sort of postpartum depression.
She was suffering from postpartum depression.
She was claiming that President Obama had placed her home in Connecticut under electronic surveillance.
Brave men and women of the Capitol Police
Require hospitalization.
There was a lot of panic here.
Police swarmed the scene. The first shots are fired.
It appears she wanted to gain access. She wanted to talk to President Obama.
No weapons, but something much more alarming. A 1-year-old baby.
Heroically, depression.
Those brave men and women of the Capitol Police who stopped this threat are not being paid.
Heroically,
They're not going to see their money until this government shutdown ends.
It is the Savage Nation. I believe that America died yesterday. I know many of you have said, well, America's in its death throes. Can it survive? I have been depressed since that woman was assassinated by the federales. And I'll tell you, it's not just that she was killed unnecessarily because of the punk cowards with machine guns, the kids in the high school gym class that everybody hated and ridiculed who now have machine guns and body armor. They assassinated a woman with a baby in the car. But what's worse to me is that I predicted the media would sweep it under the rug and move on today. And boy, was I right. And I've been in a tailspin ever since they killed her because I believe America died yesterday with that woman. A black woman, unarmed, gets assassinated by the federales with a baby in the car. Everything I have told you about Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, the victim industry, the Congressional Black Caucus, unfortunately is far worse than I even thought it was. Everything I told you about the absentee media is worse than I thought it was. Everything I warned you about the fascistic inclinations of Obama are worse than I think it is. There's not a word about her assassination in the media. You can't find the story. So what do you think I, Michael Savage, will talk about today? What did I predict would happen today? And what did happen today? Those are some of the topics I want to talk about. I can't let this go. The woman was assassinated by the federales. When I was young, I was told that the Mexican federales could be bought for a certain amount of money. They'd kill anybody for money. I said, oh, well, thank God I don't live in Mexico. And, you know, you look around America, our local police are extremely controlled, well-trained, very, very reluctant to draw their weapons and shoot them. But it's not true for the federales under Obama, is it? I want to read you some of the blog comments on the assassination of this woman, and I want you to tell me what you think. This incident, someone writes, is just another example of police overzealousness. This woman should not have been shot. Why these cops decided to kill her is incomprehensible. She was probably suicidal and deeply depressed and deserved more benign treatment. She posed no lethal threat except for damaging a few vehicles. I deplore the violent tactics employed by the police, who can legitimately kill anyone who displays deviancy. These uniformed American Nazis are representative of a system that uses violence as a means to resolve any crisis, where lethal force is deemed necessary to enforce laws that are repressive. Now remember, I'm reading what someone wrote. Why did it take a battalion of cops to contain an unarmed, single woman who was putatively mentally ill? This event is typical and not exceptional, and demonstrates, well, you get the picture. I will read the next one. Sadly, the police are trained to draw their guns, shoot center mass, and empty the clip. They are not trained to pause, show compassion, or think. You would be amazed at the number of times a suicidal person ends up shot dead by the police who respond to a suicide call. All a person has to do is to display behavior indicative of a threat, and they are targeted by that same aforementioned police training. Here's another comment. Seems these days that when the police kill someone, they are too eager to come out and state that the person has a mental issue, maybe to justify the killing of the person. Another one wrote this. So tragic, could they not have stopped this anguished young mom with anything less than bullets? Must we always use lethal force on people who become unhinged in public? Given we have so many with untreated or undertreated mental illness among